Lesson 4, Past Simple. Miss Hoa was very happy when her husband bought her a bouquet yesterday. They were in Bangkok on their summer holiday 3 years ago. We went to Japan last week. I met my old friend at the shopping mall yesterday. She wasn't very happy last night because of her son's bad behavior to her friends. He didn't go to work last week. We didn't get any phone calls from the HR department yesterday. Was Neil Armstrong the first person to step on the moon? Were you at school yesterday? Did you visit President Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum with your class last weekend? Did he oversleep and was late for school yesterday? I saw Tam in the park last Sunday. She came to class, opened the notebook and started to take note what the teacher was saying. When I was sleeping, the phone suddenly rang. If I had a wealthy husband, I would travel around the world. Do you work or study? Honestly, I used to work in a marketing company before, but then I found that I was not suitable for doing that work, so I moved to another company, which specializes in exporting and importing. I bought the bag on a very special occasion. That was when I went to a night market in Hong Kong and there were so many kinds of souvenirs. In the past, people didn't tend to pay much attention to leisure time activities, which is very different from now. In 1997, business visitors to New Zealand spent an average of almost $260 per day, while holidaymakers spent around $190 and people visiting friends or relatives spent less than $120. People used to lead a hard life in the countryside in the past. However, recently, life in many rural areas has been improved a lot. I highlighted the key words. I've highlighted the key words. I read the leaflets when I was in the library. Have you read the leaflet? Exercise 1. The line graph compares 3 types of traveler to New Zealand between 1997 and 2017 in terms of their average daily expenditure. It is noticeable that spending by these international visitors was at its highest between the years 2000 and 2003. Overall, business travelers spent the most per day, while people visiting friends or relatives spent the least. In 1997, business visitors to New Zealand spent an average of almost $260 per day, while holidaymakers spent around $190 and people visiting friends or relatives spent less than $120. Over the following 5 years, spending by all 3 types of traveler increased dramatically, to peaks of around $330, $270, and $220. However, visitor spending suddenly fell again between 2003 and 2005. From 2005 to 2015, the daily expenditure of business travelers and tourists fluctuated around the $200 mark, whereas people visiting relations or friends spent roughly $60 to $80 less per day. By 2017, daily spending had risen to approximately $250, $210, and $140 respectively for vacationers, business people and those visiting loved ones. Exercise 2. I can remember many happy events of my life, and out of those, I would like to talk about the event that I can still remember vividly. It was indeed an exhilarating event, and that was regarding my success in the board final exam. The moment I heard that I had been awarded a scholarship for my performance in the board exam, I became the happiest man in the world. This was truly a felicitous moment for me, as it is something I was looking forward to very eagerly, and the news made my parents quite happy and proud. I would like to thank you for letting me talk about this event. I waited almost a month with great anxiety for my result. I started speculating so many things, and many of them were negative. I could hardly stop thinking about my upcoming result during this period. The result was highly important and my college admission was dependent on it. I could not sleep well the night before the result publishing day. I think it is common for students to worry about their results, especially for important exams, and I was familiar with this type of concern. However, I have to admit that I had been more worried about it than other exam results I can remember. The result was published at around 11 o'clock a.m. and I found that I did exceptionally well. I was so relieved and happy that I was on cloud 9. Then I hurriedly returned home and gave the news to my parents. They were very happy. My father, who barely expresses his emotions, was also very pleased, and my mother called a few of our relatives to share the good news. I felt excited, happy and relieved. At that time I was about 15 years old. It happened in our hometown called, say the name of your hometown. It was so pleasant an event that I still remember every bit of it. Exercise 3. 1. I moved to Hanoi when I was in high school. 2. My family used to eat out every weekend, then go to the cinema to watch the latest blockbusters. 3. My sister spent $500 for her birthday party last year because it was her 30th. 4. I bought Sarah a farewell gift because she's leaving for Sydney next month. 5. There was a massive traffic jam on Melrose Avenue because a car accident happened an hour before I got there. 6. I guess Vietnamese people weren't used to celebrating Christmas. 7. I wasn't able to buy the bag at first because it was expensive, but it was on sale a few days later, so I decided to buy it. Exercise 4. 1. I stayed at home last weekend. 2. Angel went to the cinema last night. 3. I and my friends had a great time in Nha Trang last year. 4. My vacation in Hue last summer was wonderful. 5. Last June I visited Ngoc Sun Temple in Hanoi. 6. My parents were very tired after the trip. 7. I bought a lot of gifts for my little sister. 8. Lon and I saw sharks, dolphins and turtles at Tri Nguyen Aquarium. 9. Trung ate chicken and rice for dinner. 10. They talked about their holiday in Hoi An. Exercise 5. 1. At present, I'm working as a teacher in a secondary school and I plan to work here for 2 or 3 years before going to Australia to study. 2. Fire is one of the most important inventions in history. 3. Beyoncé is now a very well-known all over the world and she has released several albums in her singing career. 4. In the future, I will come back to Indonesia to work after having a long vacation in Japan. 5. They haven't seen each other for a long time.